Time now to talk about another touching matter. We know that at least 2 batches of students have actually arrived in Ghana after fleeing the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Many of these students had to make their way to either Hungary, Slovakia, or the neighboring countries. We now know that students continue to arrive from Ukraine. Meanwhile, some students have been stuck in some cities within Ukraine itself. Many of such cities include Sumy and Kharkov. They are actually at the center of the cases, making it impossible for evacuation to happen. Fortunately, we've been joined now by Bernard Kwame Owusu, who is one of the students caught up in that tension and fleeing the city of Sumy. He joins us now via Zoom. Bernard, thanks for joining us. So first of all, how has it been for you ever since you heard of the developments that you will not be able to be readily evacuated from Sumy, which is at the center of this very crisis? Well, it appears that we've lost Bernard. We'll try and reconnect. Obviously, they're in transit as we speak. But the General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students, Anthony Kwame Julius, has also been working in tandem with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other stakeholders, trying to extend some level of assistance to students out there in Ukraine, Romania, Hungary, and other neighboring countries. Julius, what's the update that you're able to give us? We know that at least another batch has arrived in this country. What figures do you have, and what do you make of the evacuation process so far?
Thank you very much for having me, and a very good evening to your viewers. The fact is that the Sumy situation is very difficult. I've been deeply involved in it since we've been making attempts to evacuate students from there. But then we are unable to even take buses to the city. So what we are trying to do now is to encourage students over there who could access taxi to take them out of Sumy by providing them with financial assistance. And then those of them who are unable to move, we give them some resources to be able to cater for the cost of feeding because of the inability of buses and all to move into the city. Prices of food has shot up very significantly. Right. But I'm glad to say this morning that Bernard and one other colleague who were parts of the people who were stuck in Sumy managed to move out some hours ago and are on their way to Lviv, and hopefully they'll be moving from Lviv towards the border.
Okay, so that's actually a great development there. And Julius, if you may want to hold on for us briefly, let's get to that part of the world where all of this action is unfolding. Bernard Kwame, as you were talking about, is rightly so in transit. Bernard, how does it feel now knowing that you are moving out of the tension zone into a much more safer region?
Good afternoon.
Yes, Bernard, if you can hear me, I'm asking about how it feels now knowing that at least you are moving into safety.
No, I'm not. I say it feels good from getting out of Sumy, but it's not really good because I'm still shaking and I'm still afraid. Because we are at this moment, as I'm talking to you, I'm on a train and currently I'm in the capital city, in Kyiv. So there's a lot of stopping and checking things. So at a point, I really got scared. My legs are shaking. And there's no chair to sit down, so I've been standing since for the past since morning. When I got the taxi out of Sumy, I got to the train station at Potava around 11. And so since 11, immediately we got here, the train was moving. So we got into the train, and since morning we have been standing. We were even lucky to get on the train. And as of now, we are still not safe, but hopefully we get to Lviv and stay there and wake up early in the morning and get another train out of Ukraine.
Bernard, we have our fingers crossed. We'll talk about the journey and how it has been for you. But is that to suggest that there are some more of your colleagues who are back there in Sumy? And what's the number really looking like for those of you who are back there?
Well, not enough numbers. Enough students have left Sumy, because if I'm counting, I'll say the first batch, the first friends I know who left was only 4. That was, I think, last week, Saturday. This past Saturday, that was when only 4 students left. So I think that 2 days later, I think about 3 Ghanaian students also left. And yesterday I heard that about I think 3 Ghanaian students also left, and I heard that 1 Ghanaian girl left yesterday. And today I and 1 Ghanaian girl also was able.
Bernard, we seem to be having some challenges with the connection, but if you can hear me, I just want to find out one more issue. How would you assess government's level of help in terms of the evacuation exercise? We know that government has been...
Not much.
Bernard, if you can hear me, I'm asking about the evacuation process. We know that government has been trying as much as possible to extend some helping hand to those of you who are stranded.
Please, the network.
Yes.
Yes. The help I decided to offer was when I discussed with some of the people in the Nooks Sumi. So I was if I get to Port Harcourt, I'll try and look for bus. I'll try and look for bus to talk to bus drivers which can go to Sumi and at least get some of the Ghanaian students. But unfortunately, when I got here, when the taxi driver dropped us, the train was on the move. So even we have to run. We were lucky just to get on the train. We were really lucky, so we have to run. They told us to run, so we just have to run. I couldn't try and help to look for bus, but the taxi driver who brought me, I've been in contact with him, trying to see if tomorrow morning he can get some of the Ghanaian students out.
Do you know really where you are headed, and how many hours more do you have left to move out of Ukraine itself?
Well, the last time I heard about, I knew about the numbers, the Ghanaian students, their numbers is me. You were around, I think 8, 9, around, let's say more than that. There are a lot of Ghanaian students still in Sumi.
Yes, I know about that. I'm asking about you. Bernard, I'm asking about you. Do you know where you are headed? How many more hours do you have to leave Ukraine itself into safety? And are you...
Okay, thank you. If I should leave Ukraine from where I am, from Kyiv to, even let's say from from Sumy to Lviv is 11 hours. And currently the time here is 5:55. So you can see it's late, and from here, where I'm in Kyiv, so definitely I have a lot of, let's say, 5 hours to get to Lviv. So from Lviv, I can't.
Well, we seem to be having some challenges connecting to Bernard there. He's one of the students in Ukraine, actually moved from Sumy, which is at the center of all of these tensions and escalating security situation there in Ukraine. He's actually trying as much as possible to move through Kyiv and then move out of Kyiv into Romania or Hungary. But Julius is also with us. Julius, so these are some of the challenges of your colleague students who are out there. In the interim, if you can hear me, Julius, I'm asking about the measures that Nooks is continue to put in place together with government to try and get more and more students out of the danger zone. He tells us that some 89 persons, as we speak, are still trapped within Sumy. So what are you going to do about that?
Well, I am not certain if it's up to 89, but then it's hard to dispute if he is the one over there, because the statistics we had proved that there were about 94 of them, according to the Nooks register. And with the numbers that have left so far, they should be getting to about 38 of them who have managed individually to leave the area. So what our strategy is with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is to encourage more people to use the taxis to get to Lviv, through to Kyiv, and then Port Harcourt, and then out of Ukraine. And that's what we've been doing. We sent money to them. Because of the situation, the cost of transportation has skyrocketed. Some drivers ask for $500 for very short distances. So the ministry sent money to students we've identified who would want to use the means of taxis to go. Our bus, which has been sent there, I'm told it has been fast-tracked by the Church of Pentecost over there, is stuck inside Sumi as we speak. It is unable to move out with a larger number of students. That bus could take up to 46 or 48 students in it, but it's still stuck. So the individual movement with taxis is what we are trying to encourage more by, aiding with the cost of transportation. In the meantime, we are sending money to help them get food and all that. The minister and the directors have been very involved. Lux has been very involved in it. And with the situation, the other alternative to a lot of students are rejecting it. That's to use Moscow, embassy in Moscow, so that if the humanitarian corridor is agreed on, then we move all of them through the Russian border into Russia, then to Moscow, then we can airlift them to Ghana. But most of the students are psychologically not tilted to going through Moscow. They don't want to hear of going through Russia. And that is the biggest challenge we are facing, which means we would have to continue with the individual taxi movement until we get all of them out of there. But I'm hoping that a formal arrangement will be, reached with Moscow as soon as possible, and we would be able to keep up some confidence in the students to use that route so that we can deal with the semi situation once and for all. For now, it's more about getting them food supplies. It's more about getting them, money to get transportation out of there. It's the least we can do. Okay, mass transit is almost impossible.
I'm grateful. Julius Anthony Kwame is the General Secretary of the NUCS, obviously working together with other students who are out there in Ukraine. We'll keep our eyes on this and bring you the very latest stats and when we have it. But you had Bernard also moving out of Kyiv right now into safety. We will keep our fingers crossed and hope that more and more students will move into safety. But here in Ghana as well, we understand that the second batch has touched down. We'll give you all the updates later. But this is the Pulse. When we return, we'll tell you about Ghana Month and how some parents are actually making efforts to ensure that their children speak the local dialect.